Alright, y'all. Since Sinister 7's been gone for a fat minute,
A great minute.
it's the 305 with coming back at you with another podcast. Today we're just naming flaming picks. By flaming I mean scorching hot takes in sports. Apparently the ratings are gonna be based off how scorching, flaming hot they are, just like them Cheetos. So without further ado, I'll give it to T to announce the order. Or S.
There's no order.
There's no order. It's just
There's
if you
no
got
order.
one,
Whenever you're feeling hot.
Does anybody want to go first?
I'll go first since I don't really.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll cut right in. But I'll go first. I didn't have a lot of time to prepare, but I'm trying to think of something crazy. The only thing that can come to mind is something about the Brewers, where it's kind of crazy about obviously recent news. Craig Timber ventured off to the Wrigleyville and he went over to Chicago for some odd reason. Do I get it? No. Do I understand it now? Yeah. I guess it makes sense. We have a shitty owner. We're not going to win shit. And by not winning shit, I guess my flaming hot take is we're going to be like a bottom 5 team in the league. Maybe bottom
next
3.
season.
Next season or within the next 2 seasons.
Okay.
It's time for the Brewers to go into a full rebuild. You got to trade Christian Yelich like dead ass. Like, I'm not saying that just because, let's fucking trade him.
I'm gonna go
But,
next. I'm gonna go next.
That's not, I don't know. Like I said, it's just a hot take. I think we're not going to be good, and pain is coming. More pain, I should say. Even worse pain is coming.
I would say us being a bottom 5 team next year. I would say that's a pretty hot take.
I think that's flaming.
I would say it's flaming hot,
That's
and I would
crazy.
say I disagree. Now, if you want to say that 2 or 3 years from now,
Bro, can
I'll
you
say
shut,
it's valid.
can you shut
Dude,
the fuck up?
bro,
You're not even
it's a flaming hot. I'm not flaming.
I'm
hot.
a-
It's a fair
Good.
assessment.
I'm
It's a fair assessment.
I'm gonna have to argue your flaming hot take because the Brewers have like a top 5, if not definitely a top 10 farm system in the league. They already had a few guys this year coming up with Terang and Weimer. A little disappointing, but we'll see the futures.
Obviously,
And I would be really disappointed if we were bottom 5, even with Churio MVP season loading.
I would like to follow that hot take because you kind of already touched on my hot take.
Oh, fuck, buddy. Sorry.
My hot take is that next season is Christian Yelich's last Brewers season.
Wow.
And I don't think I'm actually kind of the opposite of you. I don't think it's because
We're bad.
we're gonna be shit. I think it's because we have so many guys coming up that as soon as they get an offer that they think is like valid for him, they're gonna send him out because we have like 4 to 6 guys already that are coming up through the system who are gonna replace him. So I don't know how hot that
I think
is.
it's likely they move him to first base.
See,
I think that's possible too. I think
It might be tough to get a good deal for him.
I was about
I
to
do
say,
agree with that.
if I think that would be a good move, except for there are very few teams that would actually take on that contract.
Yeah.
So he's just a very difficult player to move.
I think he'll probably continue at the level that he ended at.
Yeah.
And I think that they'll bite the bullet, and I think they'll try to get rid of him because they don't have the money to. Well, they have. They kind of got themselves stuck in the contract, but I think they'll look to get rid of it
he's gonna
in
see
any way they can.
he's gonna see a lot of DH next year, I think, and if we do find a way to move him, it will be. We will lose the trade because whatever we get in return will not be as good as it should be because the other team's gonna have to take on the
Right.
Yeah.
contract.
They would have to. The Brewers would have to.
Or the
give up
Brewers might
more.
have to eat some of it. Too.
Right.
But that's my take. Is that next season he might get traded next season, but he also might not. But I don't think he's playing more than 1 year.
And I'll speak first on that. I think that's a pretty. I think that's a valid take, man. It's a very hot take too. I think that's more realistic than. And I just want to briefly touch back on. I don't really think that'll kind of happen, but it's obviously I hope for the best. But fuck me, man. So that's all I gotta say.
Fuck me,
Fuck
man.
me, man. That's all I gotta say.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
T-shirt.
I'll make my take here if no one else has anything to add to that conversation.
Kill.
I think everybody knows I'm a big fan of this man, and we saw what he's capable of doing
Gus Buzz.
in the first 3 weeks of this season. Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes will win a national championship by the end of this decade at Colorado, and this is the reason.
He's not even gonna be a Colorado.
These kids these days, they're heartless. They don't care about football. All they care about is clout and money.
Yeah.
And what is a better place to go get that than the University
That's kinda
of
crazy, too.
Colorado? Listen, everybody wants to play for Dion. They're playing for clicks, buddy. They're going to get the top recruits because they want clout.
Is
And
Dion a good coach?
IG.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I think he's.
But do they want clout or do they want to win?
Yeah, what do you
I don't
want?
think
Because
you
they
can
can get
have
clout at Colorado, but can they win?
They can go to the NFL. I think if they all come
His own
together.
kid's getting a lot of NIL deal, man.
That's what I'm saying. They're gonna come there. They're gonna play for Dion, and he's gonna assemble. He already has shown that he can get good skill players once he builds up more of the base. Colorado's gonna win. Plus, what they're moving to the Big 12? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds right. Yeah.
So
Next year.
won't be. They're not gonna be in like in as strong a conference as the SEC and Big 10, and then this expanded playoff, more opportunity. So that's my take.
I don't think they're gonna be. I don't think they're ever gonna be good enough in the trenches. I don't think they're gonna get any of the big boys to go.
I don't
go
think
to
so
go to
either.
the
See,
Rocky Mountains.
Maybe.
It's a whole problem.
I would say that that's not flaming hot, though. Just because they're such a popular team right now. I feel like a lot of people are really high on Dion in the program. I'd still say it's pretty hot take, but I don't know if I'd say it's.
I mean, but then again, you got to give him the man some credit. The first season, nobody expected him to have 4 wins. Even though then again, they were getting a shit ton of. They're getting more media coverage than LeBron, which is rare,
It's crazy.
especially on Instagram. Shout out ESPN. But,
Not really anymore.
No, not anymore.
At the
When they were 3-0,
At the start, if you look back at that ESPN page, it was
crazy.
all Dion shit.
And you loved it. And then
I
you
ate it up.
hated it. 'Cause
I
you fell
hated
off.
it.
No, I'm gonna bounce off that with my hot take. I think that within this decade, since you said they're gonna win a national championship in this decade, I think they will not have a better season after Shador graduates. Like the Shador reign will be the best that Colorado is in this entire decade. So I think they're gonna go downhill once he graduates. I think he is more of the answer than Dion.
That's interesting.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
interesting.
So you're bullish on his NFL future too?
Yeah, I think Shador is a first round talent.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're a big Shadir fan?
I am.
He's
I
a
think
stud.
he's got some stuff to work on still, but
He's raw.
the shit that he does with that mediocre to below average offensive line
it's terrible.
is impressive. We'll have to see what he can do like in a real NFL offense. But,
Yeah.
but some of the stuff he does like on the run is real impressive.
And I guess going off that, his numbers are fucking electric, dude. He's got like 28 touchdowns and 2 picks. It's insane. Completion percentage is pretty high, especially like he said behind the offensive line. No disrespect, but they just can't block. But hopefully, with that being said, you'd say he stays one more year and then he leaves, or he leaves after because he ain't leaving this season, or is he?
I think he could leave this season, but it sounds like he's staying.
Yeah, plus this year's QBs
This
are
QB
so
class
good.
is too good. Yeah,
He could probably get picked higher next year.
I agree.
Yeah, I guess I have to disagree with that take because my take is they're gonna win the chip. So yeah, that's all I can really say.
Unless they win the chip next year with Shador.
Yeah.
God.
I'm not a hater of Shador, but I think he's a little overrated. I don't know if I could see him being a pretty good mobile quarterback, but he kind of reminds me of
Manziel or something.
yeah, it's kind of like one of those guys who like he gets a ton of hype.
Whoa, that's
That's
crazy
a little
call.
bit too far, but he just kind of reminds me of one of those guys who's got flashy plays all the time, but like at the end of the day, like
Yeah.
when he has to deal with real like NFL defenses, he's gonna crumble.
Yeah, he's kind of like Marcus Mariota today.
Dude, and MVP not looking too crazy, fellas.
Timberwolves good.
5-2. They beat Boston too.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna go since we're on this college QB tangent right now. This might not be the craziest take ever, but I think Drake May will have a better NFL career than Caleb Williams.
W pick. W.
Okay.
Do you think that's because he gets drafted later to a better team, or do you think it's just because he's a better quarterback?
It's because he's not a bitch.
Yeah, better career.
And what do you
I
define as
think-
better career? Also.
I think Caleb Williams should go 1. I think he's the better talent. I think he can do more out of structure. He can make throws on the run. He's flashier than Drake May, but I think it's a very Anthony Richardson is probably a little too disrespectful to Caleb Williams, but I think Drake May is your CJ Stroud, your pocket passer, your make throws down the field. Maybe isn't gonna wow you with anything, but he just doesn't do the wrong thing. And I think Caleb Williams is more of your gunslinger type, your Brett Favre, your maybe tries to do too much here and there. Your Josh Allen, perhaps, maybe top 5 quarterback, but also top 5 in turnovers. So I think Drake May just has a more consistent career, more of a winner, but makes less of a. He wins you less games, but he loses you less games as well.
Consistency over ceiling.
Yeah.
All right.
I like the.
But you could also argue that because of the way that Caleb Williams plays, he could turn into like a Mahomes.
Totally possible.
He just extends stuff
For
to
sure.
the max, and he'll just make crazy plays.
For sure.
I don't dislike that.
I think Caleb Williams is more talented, and he might have like better seasons, but I think Drake May's consistency will give him a better overall career.
Dude, can I say another one?
Yeah,
I just
go
came
ahead.
up with another one just based off that. You know, I think it's too crazy to take. But I'll throw in another guy to make it a crazier-ish take. Yeah, I don't know, open it. You just mentioned a guy like Josh Allen, a guy who I like a lot. I think he's a great quarterback. He puts up a lot of numbers, but then again, you know, because he tries to do too much, and sometimes like just out of nowhere, sometimes just too much. You know, obviously the turnovers and you know that type of stuff gets in the way. I think saying.
Sorry, Pod.
I think me saying something along the lines of he'll never win a Super Bowl is, I guess, kind of hot, but people have said it before. So I'll say this. I'll say a guy like Lamar Jackson is more likely to win a Super Bowl than Josh Allen, which I don't think is a crazy take, but that's something. You know, that's my take.
Like with their current team, or like in their.
Just in general, I'll say, because I mean, as much as people shit on Lamar, then again, I have to sometimes because he can't win in the playoffs. In the regular season, he's been when healthy. His regular season winning percentage is outstanding. He puts up great numbers. It's insane. I missed it. But yeah, you know, he's been. Then again, both great quarterbacks. You know, I got nothing but love and wish nothing but the best for both of them. But if I had to say somebody would be more likely to win a Super Bowl, I'll say Josh Allen won't win a Super Bowl in his career, and I'll say Lamar's more likely to win one than him. That's
You
the
just
take.
said a lot of nothing right there.
Well, I was trying to.
I'm gonna have to say that that's probably the weakest take that we've had so far.
What, that Lamar will win
I
one?
don't really know what that is.
Lamar will and Josh Allen won't.
That's a pretty soft,
Yeah, nothing wrong.
That's
with it.
soft.
Well, I just
Nothing wrong
came
with
up
the
with
take,
it.
but
pretty
it's not the
lukewarm
strongest.
take right there.
I'm gonna agree with you there.
Like Josh Allen, I feel like the Bills like overrate. Oh, they'll be fine with what they have right now, and the reality is they don't have a Super Bowl winning roster right now. They think they can just do it with
not
Josh
good
Allen.
enough anymore. Too many injuries. Too.
Ravens are like I feel like a team would be more willing to build around Lamar and be like, okay, we gotta get him this guy. But
Now, is the NFL trade deadline over?
yeah,
I think that the Ravens could have used a receiver.
you're not
Another
trusting
one?
Odell.
You already have one.
Odell and Zay Flowers, like,
I don't know.
I don't know. Andrews obviously is more of a receiver than a normal tight end, but I just don't know if they have enough offense. If they end up running into like a really good run defense,
Yeah.
I don't know if they can do enough.
I'm very interested to see what they do against the Browns this weekend.
Right,
I think
exactly.
that's a great matchup for them.
The Browns.
The Ravens
Browns got
defense is
Miles
honestly pretty good.
It is
Mhm.
good.
Their defense is great.
Yeah, Myles Garrett might be decoy.
All right.
Like Steak.
Have you ever taken it?
All right, I'll give a take.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm trying to think of how I want to phrase this, but it's an NBA take, so I'll switch it a little bit. And it has to do with teams that have a chance of winning a title right now. Basically, all the teams that are basically thrown together and teams are making trades to try to throw together a core basically have no chance of winning a ring in the next few years. So, like, I'll start with the Suns. Like, there's just no way that they're going to win a championship with the way that they've built their roster. Obviously, I mean, KD's still an elite scorer, but not a great defender in the playoffs and can't do it all himself. Devin Booker's shitty, I can do everything attitude isn't really going to do it either. Bradley Beal, I mean, is the guy really going to come through in a playoff series to help them win the finals? Like, can any of you guys see that happening? I can't personally. I think the loyal players that are sticking with their current core, like a team like the Celtics with Tatum and Brown, even the Sixers with Embiid are more apt to win a finals. And we've seen that over the recent few years with the Nuggets, with Jokic winning it. The Warriors the year before with Curry and those guys. The Bucks winning it with Giannis the year before. You need to have that continuity in today's day and age to win the finals.
So you think that means the Bucks won't win it this year?
No, the Bucks still have a chance because they still have that main core of
I
guys.
think
The one player
you're saying like the
difference is
Clippers are not gonna win.
The Clippers, the
Why not?
Suns.
No, the Clippers. No, the Clippers don't have any chance of winning a
Yeah.
finals.
Why not?
I
Because
could
they
not
just threw
have
their
said
roster together. Like, there's just no chance.
I wouldn't say that's. I definitely agree with the take. It's kind of odd saying the Suns and the.
I think the Suns more than the Clippers is a hotter take, just because
Yeah.
I feel like almost everyone's off the Clippers train at this point. Like,
So would you include the Lakers in that group of teams as not going to win? I guess even though they
yeah,
have LeBron and
yeah.
they threw a lot of guys together.
Like, Golden State has a way better chance in my eyes than, like, a team like the Lakers. Even more, like, in the next few years, like, the younger teams have a better chance. Like, a Minnesota or OKC, once they develop, than a team that has more aging veterans.
I kind of like that take.
Yeah.
I don't know if
It's
that's,
kind of.
I don't know if that's so much hot more than just educated. Like, I feel like
But, like,
they're.
That's just like,
that's
I
fair,
just
though,
want to
'cause,
get
like,
outside my
A lot of
firm
people
belief.
don't think that way though.
Right.
So a lot of people are like, look at all these star.
I'll say
names.
this too. Like, a team like Miami, that team's been together. They added a few guys, but like Jimmy and Bam, like they've been together for a few years now, and they have playoff experience.
they're doing-
Jimmy obviously didn't start there,
And
but
make it to the finals twice.
they have
Yeah,
the same
Lowry.
coach in place. Spoelstra's been there.
Giannis.
These teams that are adding new coaches every year, they're not going to win a finals in the first few years. It takes a while.
I like that take.
I'm gonna make another take here, and this one is from sports that you guys might not be expecting. I'm gonna talk about two current Wisconsin high school players.
Oh my god.
And I'm just gonna make this one quick because no one really wants to hear about this. But if we could reference this in a few years, let's say Con Knippel, who's going to Duke.
Is he?
I don't really see much in him. I've seen him play in person multiple times. I really haven't been that impressed. But I do actually wish the best for him because
How tall is he?
he's a good dude and he's a Wisconsin product.
How tall is he?
And then also Nick Janowski out of Pewaukee. He's going to be outstanding at Nebraska and going to be a first-round NBA draft pick.
First round is crazy.
What?
First round out of Nebraska?
Yes. You heard it here
Wow.
first.
He's gonna
He's
have to
that
light
good.
it up.
He's
I have
that
no
good.
idea who that is.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying no one
How
wants
tall
to hear
is he?
about this shit. He's like,
Is he there now?
Con? No, they're both seniors this year.
Good buddy.
All right. Since we don't want to talk about youths, someone else can make a take.
Alright, I'm gonna go with.
That's more just like on record.
I don't
I don't know
know.
how I've seen. I want to reference that
I
in.
like it. Yeah.
Janowski gets
Flip
I
that.
think this is hot,
Oh,
maybe it's
yeah.
not. This is one of my personal, very strong beliefs. I wish it wasn't true, because I don't like the guy, but I think it is true. I think that 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert, is an NBA Hall of Famer.
Is? Yeah.
He will be.
Okay.
I think
What?
I
mean-
wish it wasn't true because I don't like the guy, but with the Mickey Mouse Basketball Hall of Fame, I think Rudy Gobert is certainly a Hall of Famer.
Do you think he has to be part of a somewhat competitive team? Like, legit, like, contender?
I
to have any
think
chance?
Oh, he is.
I think he did enough.
Minnesota, baby.
I don't think he did enough to be a part of a winning team.
I think he did enough. Weren't the Jazz a 1 seed one year?
They were insane that year, but they lost conference finals.
I think
Did they even
that
ever make it to the conference finals?
I don't think
Or was
so.
it conference
Semis
semis?
I think
to
they
the-
never.
yeah,
I don't
just
think.
the
I don't think they ever
Clippers.
made it out of the
as
second
much,
round.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
much as he's like not that great of a player, I think the committee will see 3-time DPOY and just just vote yes.
That's interesting. You
But
gotta look at like Ben Wallace's accolades because he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
People are like, what, he averaged like 7 a game.
You got a ring.
And like
He
Rudy
was a part
Gobert's
of
a
winning teams.
better offensive player than Ben Wallace.
But that's tough.
Statistically. I don't want this to be
He's-
true. I want to
he's
make
like
that very
kinda-
clear. I don't
He's like
like
kind
Rudy
of
Gobert.
playing pretty damn well this season.
He's like
Their anchor right this
Wow,
season.
bro.
he's like double. He's
That's
like
why I
a
ordered
double
your
double
phone.
every year for like what 5-7 years now.
That's why I
Three-time
ordered
defensive
earplugs.
player of the year.
This is so fucking loud.
I don't want this
It's
to be
actually
true,
wild,
but
bro.
I think
Save that
Rudy
shit so it's on
Gobert
record.
finds his way into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
Very
I don't know necessarily how hot that is, but I definitely agree that I don't really like the guy, but I mean, there's a very real chance he wins another deploy.
What?
What do you mean what? Is that
How
a
old
hot
is
take?
he? Do you know? Is he like 30?
I don't think he.
He's from the same draft as Giannis. I know that.
Yeah.
If the T-Wolves trade Cat, it's very possible.
I don't
Wow.
think he will, but I don't think it's impossible for him to win
Yeah.
another. But like, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but my guess is every 2-time depoy is in the Hall of Fame, let alone 3-time.
Yeah, I don't know too much about the Hall of Fame, so I can't.
Well, that's the same with like every MVP's in the Hall of Fame, but every single well, yeah, D Rose.
They're gonna pity D Rose in the Hall
Oh,
of Fame.
I hope they don't.
Most overrated player of all time.
Yeah, that's a great take.
That's my hot
Great
take.
take.
T-Mac.
No.
D Rose just gets slobbered for no
He
Team
does.
reason.
Mac, everyone MVP, buddy.
Obviously, the game changed, but like D Rose's like T-Wolves stat line is very similar to his MVP stat line.
Is it actually
Yeah.
very
Yeah,
similar?
but-
I don't think the efficiency's there.
Wasn't it like he shouldn't have won his MVP too? Like,
I think LeBron should have won
Yeah,
that
Yeah,
year.
it was like, oh, this young player is good. Let's
Oh, yeah.
give it to him instead of LeBron.
This
for
isn't
the
this isn't a
10th
bold
time.
take, but I don't even know if this is like the right podcast to be saying this on, really, because it's not really that hot of a take. But I think that the idea of voter fatigue is horrible.
yeah.
Realistically, if you look back at the years, LeBron should have like 9 MVPs. The amount of the times that he would carry the Cavs all the way to the playoffs with
Yeah. That's
guys
more of
that
a,
nobody
It's more of a fundamental what should MVP be
right, because it's like
part.
right, basically it's just as soon as you win a couple in a row, like you can't win it again. Like I would be shocked to see Jokic win it again this year, even though it's very possible that he averages the best stats in the league. Like they almost like want to switch it up because people get bored of the same person winning it.
Yeah.
And I think that that's just the wrong way to look at it. If Jokic averages a triple double or damn near it for 5 more years, like
He should win MVP.
as the
again.
1 seed or the 2 seed, like there's no reason why he shouldn't get it. Same thing with like even LeBron. Like you go back and look at it, he should have had it over Harden 1 year. He should have had it over D Rose, and then there's a few other ones that I know that people said. And that's
I
not
think
because I'm
that's
a
true. I'd have to
LeBron
look that
truther,
All
but
right. I was hating a little too much. D Rose's MVP year was 25, 8, and 4.
It's a pretty good stat line for
And
2011.
his best year after that was 18, 6, and 2, which is like not that far off, and he was more efficient in his non-MVP year. But obviously he was taking significantly less shots.
dang, he burnt the shit out of that popcorn.
I'm gonna
He
say
He shot, hold on,
That smells like shit, dude.
he shot 44% in his MVP year.
Put some hot sauce on it, buddy.
I guess maybe more of my hot take would be that Derrick Rose would be a very similar player even if he didn't tear his ACL. I don't think
That's
I don't
crazy.
think
Oh,
the
that's
like when you talk about the what if athletes with injuries, I think Derrick Rose should not be on the list.
it's like you're saying he wouldn't have got much better than his MVP year.
I think that would have been his peak no matter what.
25, 8, and 4.
Yeah. I think the
I might have to disagree.
That's
with
my
that.
hot take.
I think he in today's league, I think he could easily average 30 points. He was a good enough shooter that he could have evolved to today's game, and he's such a good slasher. I'm trying to think of a good example of like who he would be compared to right now. Like
It's like a short
maybe like
shorter Shea is my
Okay.
comparison.
I was gonna say like he kind of.
D-Rose is placed.
I was gonna say Donovan Mitchell.
He's kind of like a not as maybe not as athletic is kind of disrespectful, but I was gonna say like Russ.
Well, like Donovan Mitchell, I feel like is a pretty good comparison. Because he can
He's
shoot.
more of
He
a
can't
shooter.
shoot like Don.
D-Rose was never a shooter, really. He just lost.
Maybe
all
not
his
as good of a
athleticism.
shooter, but same type of slashing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just a D-Rose hater.
I'll make another quick one. I think this is kind of based off the results that we've seen last year.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of very talented basketball players out there, and we are going to see in the upcoming years, we're going to see one or two like I guess it's not really Power 5 in basketball. We're going to see more like mid-majors winning the tournament. It's like
Winning
from
the whole thing?
smaller
That's really
conference.
hot.
Like
Yeah,
like
well,
in like
shit,
FAU's like
like
ranked
an
10,
FAU.
like San
Is
Diego
there like you
State.
think there's a reason for that, or is it just?
I just think there's like
Blood is tripping. They ain't winning shit.
I want to
pal.
hear what you say.
I think there's like so much more. There's just so much talent in basketball. Like
Yeah, but they're not going there.
yes, they are. Did you not watch? Did you
I
not
like-
watch the 10? And plus, it's the
Yeah,
one.
because they've been there for 3-4 years.
I like
Which is
your
why we
take.
should be good, but we're not. So tell me.
We're not-
riddle me
Yeah,
this.
because we have white players,
riddle me
not
this.
talented players.
Chucky Hepbur's
All
pretty
right.
black to me, pal. So you tell me what that means.
Yeah, what about our new
What the hell are you
transfer,
talking
buddy?
about?
He's
I
good.
think. Hey, I think
I'm
this-
saying like there's just like so many like great athletes and undiscovered talent that like you can find great
Yeah.
players.
No, you
I'll
can't.
push back on the undiscovered part.
Yeah, I guess.
I think it's more coaches nowadays
Or they
are
don't
pretty
want
good
it.
at developing more than they used to be, and like there's some really good coaches that just know how to in March just like shut down opposing teams, like the randomness of it also, and it's a big part of like 3-point shooting.
Yes,
It's
that
just like
too.
taking over. You get
Yeah, I
hot
didn't mention
and then
that.
boom, you just run to the
Yeah.
Final Four like a team like FAU.
I like part of this.
I mean,
college
the
team.
smallest team. Me and Theo were talking.
Yeah,
about this.
I still doesn't make
Literally
any
the
sense.
the smallest team in college basketball beat Purdue as a 1 seed.
Yeah, that is
Like how that makes no sense.
Like that,
See,
I don't know how we're
yeah,
still
it
not
does
talking
make
about that.
sense.
How does it make sense?
I like part of your
Purdue's
take.
fraudulent.
I think we will.
So there you go. That means you like my take.
Hey.
You're not gonna win shit this year either, by the way, pal.
I see a lot more of these teams that you're talking about, the FAUs, these Fairleigh Dickinson, these NBCUs, these random ass teams.
Like there's a lot more upsets.
I
Recently.
think there's going to be a lot more 16/1s, 15/2s,
they're not
maybe
gonna make a run.
maybe 12s in the Elite Eight or some shit like that. I still think that one of these powerhouse teams will prevail every year.
Yeah, I agree.
I
with that
think-
take.
There's enough randomness that these teams will win a couple games. There's these undiscovered players, but in the long run, these big time recruits, these powerhouse schools they'll win when it really matters.
That's fair.
But I like the take.
I feel like
it's
yeah,
very hot as well.
the one and done era is like it's ending in college basketball for the
I
most
agree.
part. Like obviously Duke's still getting guys, but like there's other opportunities besides going to 1 year college now. Duke right now has like 3 returning players in their starting 5 this year.
Which is unheard of.
Yeah.
It's huge.
What's your?
So
This isn't really anything I plan on talking about, but do you guys see the NBA changing the rule back to allowing high school players to enter the league?
I don't know, especially after they just made this like G League.
You think they don't because it promotes the G League and they make
Kind
money
of.
off the G League?
And I also feel like people forget that this rule was put in place for a reason.
And I guess
Like there's so many great players
What was the reason?
who went to the NBA out of high school and they just weren't ready, and
it's
it
true.
ruined their career when they could have spent a couple of years developing.
I think that NIL
So I think
also
yeah.
promotes
Yeah.
going to college because you have more incentive to play that 1 year because realistically some of these top tier talents like Zion, I don't think NIL was a thing back then, but
No.
like even the like number 1 overall salary is probably less than
Yeah, you could
Zion
probably
would have
make more.
made his freshman year at
Yeah,
Duke.
like Bronny's probably gonna make more. If he plays, he's gonna make more in NIL at USC than he would in
Right.
the G League. I mean, I don't really know how much G Leaguers get paid. That's just an assumption.
Yeah. So I guess I brought this up not as a take but as a question, but I think I'm going to disagree and say that they won't go back to that anytime in the near future.
I agree with that.
I think there was a couple years ago where that was more likely. Like when they started the G League thing, and I would have said, oh, maybe they would have allowed like two-way contracts or like players to be drafted and like stashed in the G League out of high school, and then like go to the NBA. But that doesn't really make sense financially anymore for kids.
All right, good combos.
Anybody else got anything? And
I got a few if nobody else
yeah,
has
go
one.
ahead.
I'm gonna pull. I think this one will be pretty consensus that everyone will agree with me here. Maybe the NBA. We'll see how this in-season tournament goes. If it's a W, if everyone likes it, if it makes the regular season better. But I see absolutely no reason that the NBA season should be 82 games, and there's no reason that the MLB season should be 162 games. We need to shorten this shit. Guys are getting hurt. NBA players are resting. They're playing 50, 60 games a year. 10 or 15 out of the best 20 pitchers in the MLB get Tommy John surgery or have to sit half the season. Let's shorten these seasons. Let's get better ball games. Let's see the best players play as often as possible. Maybe, I mean, this is crazy to think about, but like maybe we do short seasons and we get 2 seasons per year. These guys get some rest. They're not playing I know it's crazy. That might be a little hot of a take, but like let's start with
60 game seasons.
Let's start with shortening these seasons so these players are playing every game, and we're not watching a Bucks Lakers game on a Tuesday night. Giannis, AD, Dame, and LeBron are all sitting, and we're watching these bench players start. That's unnecessary.
Okay, so before we have any conversation, what do you think the season's lengths should be?
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's statistics that can go into this. Like, we look at, you take some of these superstars, LeBron, Kawhi, Paul George, Embiid, all these guys, you figure out how many games they play per year. My guess is it's around 60, 55.
Yeah.
You shorten it to that length, you give more rest in between days, and you maybe this makes it worse if you're just like a fan of your team. So like say you're a Bucks fan and they only play like twice a week, 3 times a week. It's less. You have less to watch. But like if you're a true NBA fan, you still have games every day, so there's still stuff to watch. But you spread it out more, so these guys have more rest and they can play every game. Because like, do you know how many times I've talked to somebody or like they hear Giannis is sitting. Maybe it's a little different now that the Bucks have Damian Lillard, but you hear Giannis is like resting for like knee soreness, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm not watching the game tonight." Shit like that. That is unacceptable for a professional sport. You want as much viewership as possible. You want these superstars playing every day. So I think shortening 60, you start light 60 for NBA, 120 for MLB, shit like that. You shorten this down. You get these star players less injured, playing every day. I think that's a place to start.
Yeah.
I am 100% in agreement about the NBA. The MLB, I don't notice that issue as much.
I think
Guys get rest days occasionally, but I feel like the part of the gift of baseball is that you can like play so many games consistently. Pitching maybe is kind of one thing where you hear about like overuse, but
Tommy John.
I guess maybe my baseball take would not be the game length, but like teams need to manage pitchers better. Like maybe they expand the rosters, but like you have to roster a certain amount of pitchers. So starters are pitching less innings, guys are not throwing as much. Maybe teams start going to 6-man rotations because just the amount of guys getting Tommy John every year just keeps increasing because these absolute freaks of nature are throwing 100 miles per hour 50 times a game.
I was gonna say part of that might be just the way that they're training to throw.
That's
so
It
hard.
definitely is.
That's the interesting thing, because like you look, like back in the day, I mean, obviously they're not throwing as fast, but
Right.
guys are dealing like 300 innings a year, even just like 40 years ago.
Or like the amount of complete games that guys used to throw.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, would you rather have 120 innings of a 2.0 ERA out of Jacob deGrom, or get 300 is crazy, 200 innings out of some guy with like a 3.5 ERA? Like,
Yeah.
some of these guys maybe gotta
Yeah.
stop
Throwing so hard.
throwing so hard and stop busting their arm and sitting half.
No more split finger fastballs.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. But I guess the NBA thing might be more realistic. I think just shortening the season, or maybe expanding the time frame of the season so there's more off days, just to make sure these star players are playing more often.
I think
After the
there's-
conversation on this, I want to make another point.
there's like very few things like that I would change about sports, like more than this issue. I think that I would care more about, because like I think as far as NBA, I think you hit it right in the head that it's all about viewership and players resting kind of ruining that. I think there's just way too much of a realization about resting for the playoffs. I don't know how much you guys like care, but like even like the last month of the season just like sucks in general too. Well, like the last week where guys just like you've never heard of are like playing. I don't really get that part.
Kenneth Lofton Jr. dropping
Yeah,
30.
unless you're fighting for,
I don't know why they would want
unless you're
that.
fighting to not be like in the play-in.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, maybe my favorite thing about football is you got 17 games. It's once a week. You're watching every Sunday. Every game feels like it matters. You got
It
some.
does, yeah.
You got some Tuesday NBA game where it's like, if we lose this game, it sucks. But like in the grand scheme of things, this one game doesn't mean much.
Yeah.
Shortening the season would make these games mean more and make the players care more, which I'm hoping that this in-season tournament will fix some of this problem, but we'll see how that goes.
It won't.
I don't think it will either.
I don't know what the
So
percentage.
then why do you like it so much?
I never said I liked
Yeah,
it.
you
It
do.
makes the
You
regular
s-
season more interesting.
Keep
No
yapping,
one
buddy.
said-
Take
you
that.
said- No, you
Like-
said you were a fan, dude.
Keep that flimsy
You
ass
said
hood
you
off
like
your
the,
head,
you said
buddy.
you like the dumbass chords. Explain them.
I did not say, man.
You said you like the chords, and you said you like the idea.
Buddy, that hood is like
It's
1
retarded.
centimeter thick, bro.
All right,
Take it
both
off
of
your
y'all
head.
shut up.
All right, shut up.
So is your-
T's
then you're
taking
gonna-
the floor. T's taking the floor.
Yeah. If you want to talk about the in-season tournament, you guys can do your own debate podcast. But just
Okay.
give it a chance. It hasn't
Tune
even
in for the
happened
next episode, which is NVS.
yet. NVS just blaming each other and Ed just saying, so you said that when he didn't say it.
I mean, you said you were the biggest ball knower out of the.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're the biggest ball
I
knower.
never said that one time.
I would
I wanna go on record.
definitely agree with these takes, especially with the basketball one. If numbers didn't rule my head, everybody knows how much I love stats.
Yeah.
So it just like in my heart, like I can't root for a shortened season because I know it's gonna affect the stats. But that's an illogical
Well, it's
argument.
also,
So
like-
if I was looking at it purely logical, I would agree with you.
It's
I get
also
it.
hard as a fan to root for less games because
Yeah,
obviously
you gotta watch.
Obviously, the first thing that comes to mind, more basketball is a good thing, but in the grand scheme of things, it would just
Well,
maybe. And like I said, maybe shortening the season isn't the move. It's just
it's lengthening
it's
it.
lengthening it
The
and
time
spreading,
period.
Yeah, okay.
spreading these games off.
Can I make another
no
take?
no back to backs, shit like that.
I was gonna say, one of my, obviously because the Bucks won the championship, but one of my favorite playoffs was when the season went into the end of July. I think NBA should make their opening day Christmas, and have the season end in like
Whoa.
mid-July.
Yeah.
Because then think about this, you're spending
What
less
the fuck are we supposed to do in the month of November?
less watch football and college basketball. You're spending less the NBA less
Bullshit.
time competing with NBA, and think the playoffs. You're also not competing with. You're not really competing with any NHL. You're filling that void when all there is baseball to
Yeah, it's
watch.
the middle of baseball.
People
season.
love
Plus,
hockey.
baseball.
It's the
The
dog
basketball in
days
the
of
summer was
baseball and
awesome.
Nobody cares.
Plus, like you're also the playoffs in April. You're competing with baseball, so
God, he's so-
I think NBA should have their opening day be Christmas and let the season start longer, and later in the summer.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Alright.
Don't do it.
I like that take.
Don't do it.
Opening day Christmas will go crazy.
No, it sucks.
I'm in favor of getting rid of the play-in tournament and making the first round of the NBA playoffs 5 games. I don't know if anybody else is in favor of that.
I like the 5
I think-
first round.
At least with the current 82-game NBA season.
Yeah.
It's too long for there to be that many bullshit playoff games.
I mean, obviously you see some of these 8 seeds like make some noise and shit, but I'm also kind of in favor of making less playoff games.
Yeah, we have seen some 8
Teams,
seed make some
teams
noise.
right now are dicking around in the regular season because they can get in at a lower seed and
like,
still have a chance in the playoffs. Like, let's see teams play for a seed in the playoffs and then have that matter.
Here's a crazy take. Let's make fucking NBA divisions mean something.
Ooh.
Let's make it like the NFL. You get all the division winners, and then you do a couple wild card teams.
Ooh.
All
Fuck
right.
that shit.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And you
All right.
play your division teams more.
Make it West and East meaningless.
Maybe
Do
start
a
some.
16-team tournament.
Make
Nah,
some fucking.
I'm not a fan of that.
Make some fucking NBA
Why not?
rivalries.
Exactly.
because
Yeah,
they got the-
there's no NBA rivalries.
Yeah,
There already isn't.
that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Now.
Make divisions
You don't-
matter so we have some real
Oh, I
NBA
see.
rivalries.
You don't like the Bulls?
You know how crazy? You know
Or
how
just
guys-
get rid of divisions if you're not gonna.
yeah, or that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they literally don't matter right now.
They are meaningless. It's just like another.
Right.
Yeah, like remember the fucking
It's another
total?
banger.
Like
Banger.
if it said like the division they're in, like you would know. But like for baseball or football, you get the division on NBA. I don't even know what teams are in
Yeah,
one division
how-
besides
how-
like the Bucks division.
It doesn't matter.
How sick would it be if it was division winners and 2 wild cards?
Like, could you name the Western Conference teams that are in what division?
No.
Yeah,
I could get pretty close, but not great.
yeah, I could do it.
But they don't matter.
Yeah, they're
Make
meaningless.
them matter.
It's so stupid. I like the idea though. I'm a fan.
Okay, yeah. To add to that, if we go back to baseball, do you guys like the current playoff format?
No.
That they changed it
back.
because I don't.
Change
I
it
think the
back.
season is long enough to decide who's the better teams.
Yep.
Like even if you watch the playoffs this year, like it wasn't hard for you to be like, oh, these probably aren't the best 2 teams in baseball in the championship. Like it was the Braves. Like the Braves were the best team last season.
But
they just lost in the playoffs.
You don't want a 1-game wild card, right?
No,
Because that's
I
bullshit.
think
in my
Yeah, that's
opinion.
fucking gay.
honestly
You like
the
the-
original would have
What's
was
like the
before all
idea?
that.
Is the ideal still
Just
the 3
3
division winners
and
and then
one.
2 wild cards?
I
or
think
1?
I think you do 3 division winners and you do a best of 3 for the 2 wild cards.
I like that.
And then they would play the top
and then all
division.
7 for the rest of it.
Yeah.
5-7.
So it's
5-7.
basically what it was before when it was a
Wait,
1-game
so
playoff.
how many teams on each
I
side?
think if you're a division winner, you should be guaranteed a 5-game series.
I like that.
But then didn't Atlanta lose in a 5-game though, right?
They did.
Yeah, but that would be like the
Yeah,
Brewers.
so that wouldn't-
basically the Brewers.
But the Brewers would
situation.
get a 5-game.
Gotcha.
They would have lost in 3, but who cares?
3-game, yeah. Basically, it would be at home.
The
of
1-game
the
wild
number 1
card
seed.
was dumb as hell when they had
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I agree.
Like those are must-see TV, but like at the same time, like what are we
Like
doing?
one home run can end your season.
Yeah.
And it's like if you're a team that was way
Yeah, that
better,
sucks.
like I don't know.
Wait, so how many teams would you say in? So like national.
I kind of agree with
teams.
Theo. Like
So each division winner is locked in.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
3 teams.
2 wild card teams.
That's 5 teams.
Those 2 wild card teams play each other.
Yep.
The winner of that plays the 1 seed.
But dude, what about the Diamondbacks? They would have been 6. They would have been in.
Exactly.
But they went all
No,
the way.
I mean they were the 5, but
Yeah.
They were the 5?
yeah.
Who did we play?
No, they
We
were
were the
6.
No, I thought we were the 3 and we played the
Oh
6.
yeah, you're right.
So you're telling me
So-
Corbin Carroll and his sick ass mustache can sit on bench?
But like, do they really deserve
Honestly,
to make
yeah.
the playoffs? They were the 6th best team in their league.
I mean,
But they won
at the end of the
they went all
day,
way.
they got
I
hot.
understand.
They got really hot.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
playoffs.
yeah, they got so hot.
And then it showed in the World Series. They got smacked.
Yeah,
I think that's a bad thing, honestly,
what is
that they went on a run.
Right.
Yeah, it's shit.
It almost was like March Madness, where like they just like got hot immediately in it.
Like credit to them, but
That's the same shit with like college football. Like, do these 12 and 11 seeds in these upcoming years really deserve to have a shot?
Dude, they're gonna get
They're
smoked.
gonna get fucked. That's
Yeah.
a different. That's
For
a
the
different
most,
conversation.
football's a lot
But
harder.
I
to
guess it's
offset,
gonna be. I
feel
guess
like.
the top 14 or what is it? Top 4 gonna buy.
Well, no, the
Yeah.
12 teams ain't gonna be that shit,
I mean-
dude. You're gonna get like 3-4 teams probably from the SEC in, and one of them
I
could
mean,
be
the
11 or
12
10.
playing the 1 is probably gonna get shit on.
I guess there's two sides to this. One, do these 6, 7 seeds deserve to make the playoffs? Probably not. But two, if you're the 1 seed and you're really that good, you should be able to take care of business.
Well, exactly.
Absolutely. But I'll say, like, to add to my point, it's kind of different for yours, but, like, the Brewers, like, a testament to them winning the division, right, was, like, their depth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, their longevity. Like, hey, we stretched out a season where we were able to win the division based on having, like, a deep starting rotation. And, like,
That's true.
playoff, like, if you play 2 games and you're out, like, is that really determining who the best team is?
Yeah, why?
Like, 2-game baseball, that's not enough to decide that.
Why should a 162-game regular season come down to a 3-game series?
Right.
It's kind of wild.
Right, that's my point there.
I totally agree.
How
I
many
don't like
games?
the 3 or the 5 game.
7 games every
7.
series.
Like, that's why I like basketball so much, because as soon as you get to,
I feel like in basketball, like the better team usually wins.
it's very hard to upset.
Baseball's the easiest
Yeah.
to upset.
Well, that's why NFL's so like, man, it's crazy. 1 game, man.
Well,
One
NFL's the
game.
easiest because they have no choice but to play 1 game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't.
Let's do or
yeah,
die.
You don't,
Yeah.
I don't know. People.
Yeah, if you did series for the
You
NFL,
can't.
players
You
would
just
die.
Dude, yeah. Somebody on the internet said that. That's unreal.
Wow, what was that
The
shot?
tweet that was like the NFL needs to do like an 82-game season. It was like the players' brains after like 2 months into the year.
Yeah, you're just asking for fucking
Yeah.
somebody to die.
I gotta.
Can't dilute the product like that.
You're next, C, but I gotta throw out a freezing cold take real quick since we're on the.
Of yours?
Yeah, since we're on the topic of postseason, I'm gonna just throw out a freezing cold take here that March Madness will and forever be the best postseason of any sport ever.
It is.
You just can't beat one game
It
basketball, man.
There's
It's
no
so-
way.
it's so
There's no way to
electric.
make it
Madness
worse.
is so
There's
good.
no way to say anything's better.
It's
Yeah.
the perfect.
There isn't nothing
It's
better.
so
competition.
There's nothing better.
And I feel like also there's no
Holy
better.
fuck.
There's no better fan experience because
Get a towel, buddy.
in what other
That's trippy.
sport do you care so much about each individual game?
And the brackets.
Dude,
I've
Like in the NBA, like
Right, well, any
I'm a
single
Bucks
game.
fan.
Right.
Do I really care in the first round of like
They lose 1
Portland
game.
beats like
1
LA
game.
or something? Like not
One
really.
game.
But like our March Madness, everybody has a winner in that game, and you really don't know who's gonna win almost every time.
And
I
going on-
totally agree.
And going off that point too, because I'll just, for example, I mean, when we go back to the bubble, the Bucks, they lost game 1 of the Magic. Then we won 4 in a row. We went down 2-0 to the Heat. That was 3-0.
Well, right, exactly. Imagine
But it's like even though
in
we were
March
down,
Madness, they would have lost to the Magic.
even though we were down 2-0, people still thought, it's nothing. We're gonna come back from it. Like nothing. Nothing ever happened. They're fraudulent.
Bro, just wait to the in-season tournament until the Magic beat the Bucks.
The in-season
in
tournaments,
game 1.
I think it's.
Yeah, well, that I
And
mean,
it's
I
single
guess-
elimination, baby. March Madness
Here's
come
the-
to NBA. Shout out Adam Silver.
Here's the.
Yeah, but it's a
here's,
fraud championship.
it's not gonna mean as much though.
Yeah, it's like, oh boy, where am I gonna put this fucking big ass bowl in my room?
Is your take March Madness related?
No.
I'm gonna throw out one more March Madness take. The funniest shit about March Madness, us as college students, we're watching Abilene Christian play fucking Texas Tech.
W.
I don't know a single guy's name on the court. None of these guys are gonna be accountants, and they're gonna be
Whoa!
they're gonna
Oh!
be businessmen. They're gonna be all these non-athlete jobs within the next 2 to 3 years. They're taking the same classes that we are right now.
Yeah.
They're
And
us.
we care so much whether or not they hit that free throw in the last 10 seconds of the game. That is college basketball, and that's why it's so fucking awesome.
These guys are fighting for their fucking lives. Most of
are.
them, it's like the last time they have this opportunity to play.
This is the last and maybe first time that they've ever been on national TV. For some of these smaller
Yeah.
schools.
Yeah, and like every team in college has a chance.
And the best thing is like these guys like, what was that guy Doug from St. Peter's like 2 years
Eater?
ago?
Yeah.
Eater.
Doug Eater, like everybody, like he just became so famous out of nowhere because he just had a good run.
Then he transferred somewhere else better. Right?
Loyola, Chicago,
Yeah.
No, he transferred.
all these Cinderella
somewhere worse.
teams.
All of these
Hey,
guys.
can
that
you guys
were-
name? I want a challenge in the room. Can any of you name a single player from San Diego State or FAU last year?
No.
No.
Can't do
Lamont,
it.
Oh, Lamont Butler.
yeah, that's the only
Fuck.
guy.
Okay,
He
okay,
shot the
good
game
shit.
winner, Jid.
He
so
did.
nice
He did
try.
make the game.
But that's what I'm
winner.
saying. These guys.
Shout out to Lamont Butler.
These
I would
guys
hope
are
he would
super
go there.
famous for a month. and they probably make some NIL money off this tournament. And then they just move on with their lives, and they're never heard from again. And they're few game legends, and that's what's so crazy about March Madness.
I've got one last take. This is not college basketball. It's baseball.
Oh yeah.
In the next 3 years, if things continue to go the way that they've been,
Oh no.
this is not Brewers related.
I thought you were gonna say we're moving.
I sure hope not.
Yeah.
Give it 3 years.
Bryce Harper's legacy will be larger than Mike Trout's.
Ooh.
What does that mean?
It means he has more clips in the playoffs.
Okay.
It means at the end of I think he has one less MVP.
He needs a ring. He needs a ring.
Does he though?
No, he doesn't.
Does he though?
It's a team stat.
At the end of the day, if he only has one less MVP, but overall has all these awesome playoff performances,
Yeah, who cares?
hits for like a similar career average, gets close to the home runs, RBIs mark. I don't know where it is right now. He's got a lot more swagger than Trout. Trout's kind of just like a nobody right now. Like even like last season, like he hit like 270 and then he was hurt for like the last 80 games. Like he's been doing that for like the last 5 years. I feel like overall, if again this is continuing through like 3-4 more
Make another
years.
baseball ticket.
If Trout keeps getting hurt and stays on the Angels, I feel like overall Harper's legacy will be greater.
Obviously, yeah.
Just-
Harper. I hope kids today respect Harper like more than Trout.
Because Trout, I can't say that Trout like should have been disloyal and left, or like asked to be traded, but like
No.
the guy has made the playoffs once, I think, and
So-
I think they were in one series
They
and then
got swept.
never again.
Is the take that his legacy will be better?
Yeah, because like overall, I think he'll be known for like what could have been.
Yeah, I think that's completely valid. I still am going to stand on the fact that Mike Trout's better, but I think that Harper could end up with a better career / like image for sure.
Yeah.
For sure that last part, but
I mean, because I don't know the stats off the top of my head, but I would imagine that their career, I'd imagine Trout has a better average all time.
Yeah, Trout will have the stats. Like he has like
Yeah, and he had a
Huge
bunch of
war
close
seasons.
MVP.
like 8 more seasons.
War was built
War.
for Mike Trout.
Right.
Yeah, the defensive stats, everything like that, it's all going to be favoring him. But at the end of the day, I mean, I think he's had 2 career or maybe 3 career playoff games, and I think they lost all
Yeah,
of them.
just one
I
series.
know.
So
it really
real.
sucks he was on a shitty team.
Yeah, people. I used to say
Whereas
he just did more.
he also could get traded this season with Otani.
Yeah, I thought
Like Otani dips and then Trout gets traded. He goes to like New York and then goes and wins a ring. Like then it changes everything.
Yeah, you
But
heard where Jeff Passan said he's going, right?
I didn't.
Yeah, Chicago. So you better get ready.
That would be
Oh, yeah.
just fine.
What do you mean that'd be?
That would
they're
be
gonna win the
absolutely
division.
must-see TV.
That's fine. Comps
gonna
ain't gonna win shit in the playoffs.
I
They're
might have to
Spank
root for
us.
the Cubs if they get Trout, man.
I would too. That would be
That'd be
probably
awesome.
that would be so cool.
I'm not even
I'm
joking.
buying tickets.
I'm not even joking.
Like just as a pure baseball fan.
He ain't
Like,
going to
Right.
the Yankees.
Otani at Wrigley, holy shit.
That'd be sick.
Wait, Otani or you mean Trout?
Otani.
Oh yeah, I heard that too. I thought you meant
Yeah,
Trout.
No, fuck
I
no.
thought you said Trout too.
Oh, is that? Oh,
No, I heard Otani to the Cubs as a
Otani to the
possibility.
Cubs.
Either
Very
one,
good.
I have to root for both.
Look at the
those
Suns
guys.
It's
backing up.
definitely-
I'll
backing
root
up
for the
their take,
guy.
Theo.
You will never catch me
What'd you
rooting for
say?
the Cubs. I don't
The
care.
Suns are backing up Theo's take. They're not even beating the Bulls.
Bro, we barely beat the Pistons, so shut the hell up.
Giannis got ejected. He was rigged by the refs.
I don't care.
Hey,
We should have
another
way better
take. Another
team than
take.
them.
I don't even know if this is a hot take. Bro, Corey Seager's the best damn hitter in baseball. And I
Whoa.
know
God.
this, bro. I've been glazing him all season,
Okay.
even before the playoffs.
Is he
So
on
just
your
he was the
fantasy
best hitter this season, or like is this like a like?
I think it's gonna continue. I think he's the best hitter.
I think he's top 10. I don't think he's 1.
He's just going. He's just so good, bro.
Oh,
I don't think
sorry,
he's.
yes.
I don't think he's better than like a Freeman or like Mookie.
I agree.
Yeah,
like, he's-
actually, Freeman might be better.
Shohei.
He
He's
hits
a
the
better
shit
hitter
out of the
than
ball.
Jordan.
He's clutch as hell, so that's why I
He's-
respect
he's like
Seager. But
330, bro. 330.
he probably had a ton of RBIs.
Acuna.
I think he's the better hitter.
He's right up there.
Yeah, he's probably
Sure.
better.
There you go. That's my take.
Alright.
You making any more?
I
You
got-
watching Survivor?
I got a crazy baseball
Alright,
take.
we got 5 minutes to make it to an hour. Let's do it.
Alright.
Longest pod of all time.
I
Yeah.
think within the next decade, we'll see a relief pitcher win Cy Young for the first time in like
Yeah.
30 years.
I don't think so.
an opener.
I like to take.
No, I think we're gonna see some Felix Bautista, some 6'8", just behemoth throwing 150 miles an hour.
Okay.
I think we're gonna see some dude like give up like 4 runs over the course of the whole year.
You make it it's like some guy just comes around and he's basically just unhittable.
Yeah, he's just unstoppable. Like some Edwin Diaz, like
Yeah.
second half with the Mets type shit.
Dude, at
where,
first-
like, they just can't hit him.
At first, I thought this take was crazy, but you did a good job backing
St.
it up.
Louis, right? I thought this was my last one.
That's you.
Oh, okay, sorry. You're up. I'll be right
Closers
back.
are closers are just
Can't
electric. I hope like there's more of a like emphasis on them and like closer entrance music.
I think it'll take a bad starting pitcher year, and like also it'll be some dude with some swagger. It'll be some narrative vote. But I think we're gonna see some guys save 50, 60 games, give up a minuscule amount of runs, and just strike out like 2 guys per inning, and just like have some crazy.
If you had to
season.
put it on the podcast, what team this player will be from, randomly.
It's gotta be a Yankees, a Mets. It's gotta be some big
Yeah, that's
market
true.
team for this.
Big market.
There's no way some Oakland A does this. It's gotta be a big market team.
Some Oakland
Las
A.
Vegas,
Yes,
big
the Las
market.
Vegas.
He's gotta have some Timmy Trumpet's walk up song. He's gotta be electric. He's gotta be some big 6'8" dude that throws 106. Some Felix Bautista, Aroldis Chapman type beat.
Yeah.
But I think we'll see it. Like I said, it's got to be a bad starter year as
I
well.
like the take. Actually.
All right. This is more of a question, I guess. Unless somebody else have an actual bold take they want to say.
I was just gonna add to it.
Oh yeah, you can go then. I'll wait.
The Brewers have this guy in their system, like Jacob
Oh,
Mizorowski. That dude's the next hater.
Uh,
I'm just gonna put that out there.
you don't think he's gonna start?
No, he's not gonna be a starter. He's gonna be a relief pitcher like Hader was, and he's gonna have like the same career as Hader.
Getting traded. By the Brewers because they can't handle his.
Dude, I saw an article that said Hader was a fit for the Brewers to re-sign with them this offseason.
Really?
Yeah.
Sick.
I would love
Which
that.
is
I always liked
hilarious
him.
because he would not do that. He would not sign that contract if he was held at gunpoint.
That's true. He hates those.
All right, you can say him.
My question was,
Hang on, one more.
with all of the talent currently in the NBA, do we think that it's peaking currently, or do we think it's going to continue to get better?
I think it's going to continue to get better.
I agree.
There's some, and the NBA is also expanding. Also,
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
And so my second part of that question is,
and
Do
it's
you
a great
think-
thing that it's expanding.
trying to be as unbiased as possible, do you think Giannis wins another ring with the Bucks?
Dude, I don't
Yeah.
know, man.
I do.
I sure hope so.
Because my take is that I think this year is their last chance.
I think he gets there.
You think he gets to the
I
finals?
think he
Might not
I think
win
he
it.
gets to the finals at least once.
I hope so. For his sake, not mine.
I don't know if it's with Dame though. I'm not sold yet.
It's so early.
Yeah,
But it's early
let's
to
be
tell.
real. The team is looking bad so far.
I'm not
Yeah,
sold
no
on their
shit.
They're not looking
defense.
dominant enough to make it all the way and win it. I don't think.
Plus, like the team built around Giannis is obviously pretty old. So like Middleton
Mhm.
and Lopez,
Right.
and stuff are old. So it's hard for me to know like what his career path's gonna be. But
Because he's with us
He's
for
on the same
4
timeline as
more
Dame,
years or
so-
5.
Giannis is what is he 4 now since he signed 3 years?
I think so. I just don't know if I'm saying because Dame's old. If they don't win it this year, I don't see how he would get any better, especially defensively. Unless they would go and make another splash
Yeah.
to go get somebody else to replace. Again, unless Middleton proves me wrong. I've always kind of been a Middleton hater, but he just seems like he's kind of washed.
Yeah, I
He
agree.
seems like he has flashes of 2021 Middleton, but other than that, he just seems like he's too slow.
Yeah, I mean, I still believe in Middleton can get. I mean, he's been injured. I mean, but yet again, that could be part of just his old age. But I mean, if he can get healthy through this season, let's just hope he can.
He's got a
perform.
smaller role now too.
That is all.
Yeah, hopefully his defense doesn't crater too much. But I was never high on his defense, especially in the playoff
Playoffs.
series. I think he wears down a lot by the end of the season. So, we'll see. But
Tyrese Maxey.
How about this? I'll ask you a question. 10 years from now, how many MVPs and how many rings does Wemby have, if any?
None and none.
yeah,
Not a
I would say no rings.
No MVPs either.
Probably
One.
one MVP.
None.
I'll say he gets a ring. If Pop's still
Bullshit.
Oh,
He's
oh,
the
I-
team that got
Pop
hot.
will be dead in
Pop
10
it.
years.
if he's
He's
still
not
alive
even
and
gonna
well.
be coaching in 2 years.
He'll be retired in 5 or less.
He's gonna have a stroke in 2 years if you don't retire.
Oh, write that down.
That
Right.
is too.
Hey, I just said it too. He's not living.
old, man. He's
Pop
good. Just
Pop
let
is
it-
not living 10 more years,
Dude,
bro.
he's old, dude.
Let me
He's
check
been
out-
coaching
Isn't he like
forever,
73?
bro. He's been coaching forever. It's like, why wouldn't you just want to retire and just chill
My
out?
my take is that
Oh, I gotta take
Wembenyama.
I gotta take-
He's 74.
I can't think of a
Dude, he's
comparison.
so old, man.
I don't think that Wembenyama is this prodigy that everyone thinks he is. I don't think he's bull, but I don't think he's gonna be some multi MVP candidate, like bringing his team to the playoffs every year type of guy. Like
Good job, man.
they showed that Mitchell Robinson that played him today, the Knicks, right?
Yeah.
He didn't score once on him. Like
Uh,
people are gonna
he's a
figure
rookie.
him out.
I'm not as much down on him because of his start to the season. I think he's still very raw.
I mean, yeah, he is. I just don't think that
He
he's
hasn't
gonna be
been-
as unless he really like has a physical transformation.
Maybe he does.
He's not gonna be
He's shown
strong
flashes
enough
for
to
sure.
to just dominate. I don't think.
We'll see what happens.
I have this kind of adds to my first take that I had about like NBA, but like I think with Wemby, like he's gonna be similar to, like Luka, whereas like I think their team's gonna be pretty solid in a couple years, like right away, and they're gonna be stuck in this like perpetual like mediocrity where they're like, we think we could win with this roster, and like they're good right away, as far as like being one of the better players in the league compared to like Giannis or like Embiid or like Jokic, where it kind of took them a few years. Their team tanked. They built up assets by getting high draft picks.
He's almost
and then
too
they turn
good
that
for
into,
his
like,
own
a
good.
better
Like,
core. Yeah,
he's too good, so they won't let them build up a full team.
not like they're tanking per se, but
Yeah.
like I don't know. They were able to get good young players and like focus on developing more than like having to win now. Like the Mavericks have kind of had to do.
It's kind of random, but like, has Kyrie Irving played a game this year?
Yeah, he's been playing.
Yeah.
I haven't heard like
I haven't heard much
anything about him.
I don't know. I mean, the maps have been solid, but
I know they've lost like once, but like I haven't heard
He's
anything
averaging
about him.
like 20 a game or something.
I have not heard a shit about him.
I think the take that Wemby needs to have like a Giannis transformation is
I agree.
A
with
terrible
you're about to
take.
say.
I think he's good enough. He moves good enough, and he's good enough around the perimeter, and he's good enough with the basketball that he doesn't need to be this dominant post presence.
Like KD.
Yeah, exactly. He's a good enough shooter. He's long enough that he can still be a good defender without being like overly strong. I just think as long as he stays healthy and continues to progress, that the strength and like size aspect doesn't matter as much as it did for a guy like Giannis, who was less skilled as a shooter and a ball handler when he first came in the league.
yeah. I think right now my main concern with Wemby is his shot selection and his like overall like game plan. Like he gets in a game like, okay, this game I'm just gonna like jack up a ton of mid range shots. I don't know. He hasn't really attacked the basket
Yeah.
that much.
He's 19. He'll
So-
learn.
Yeah, we'll see how that develops, but.
Interesting. This will be a fun one to
Look back at.
look back on.
Yeah, good
in
pod.
future
I got-
years.
I got one more quick take if
All
nobody
right,
else has.
go ahead.
I don't know if this will be a hot take or if everyone will agree with me. I don't think anyone other than a quarterback will win MVP for the rest of our life.
Oh, that's very hot take.
The rest of our life is great.
I think somebody other than MVP could win the MVP in 3 years.
I gotta
or
disagree.
less.
I feel like at least once
No.
it's gonna
I
happen.
think if someone
How close has it ever been? Like recently, is it like?
Adrian
Adrian
Peterson.
Peterson's the last non-quarterback.
How
I'm
close
dead
is it?
ass.
He
If-
won
Oh,
it
he won it.
like
Okay.
2012 maybe.
If some of the quarterbacks this year don't step up, McCaffrey could very easily win it this year. He has like 12 touchdowns.
That'd be crazy if he
If my take's wrong this year.
Like, what does it take? Yeah.
Because right now the favorites are somehow Mahomes,
He shouldn't be.
even though he's like a bottom 10. He's out of the top 10 in my eyes.
His numbers aren't
This
good
season.
this year.
And then
This is
I think
crazy.
Tua's up there.
Lamar.
Technically.
Lamar's up there, even though a lot of the touchdowns are
Lamar's
scoring
the
on
odds-on
his.
favorite right now.
And then there's one more guy who I'm trying to think of who it was.
Tyreek Hill.
No.
Dude, he's gonna get 2,000 yards, man.
Kirk.
Josh Allen.
No, not Kirk. No.
Dak.
No, he's
Hurts.
Is
dead.
up there.
Hurts. Yeah. it's Hurts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because he's been
Again,
scoring so many touchdowns.
If Hurts starts falling off, or they start giving the ball more to their running backs, and McCaffrey ends the season with 17 games. If he ends the season with 19 touchdowns or more,
That's why it's
I
a
could
hot
see it
take.
happening. I disagree with that one for sure.
We'll see what happens.
I think McCaffrey, a guy like Tyreek Hill. I think running back is definitely the most likely position, but I don't know if we'll see anybody as dominant as McCaffrey.
I don't know in today's day and age.
We've never seen a wide receiver win it in
No.
the history.
Ever? No wide receivers.
No
ever
wide
won it?
receiver has ever won it.
No.
And no wide receiver ever will.
And Lawrence Taylor is the only defensive player to ever win it.
How about the kicker winning it?
Yeah, that's crazy.
How the fuck did that happen? That
I
makes-
mean, okay,
that's actually
okay.
wild.
If you mention like a guy like Justin Tucker, you'd have to go like 50 for 50, and like hit like 6-game winners for it to happen.
Yeah.
Was it Skip Bayless said he should be like the highest paid player in the NFL?
That's
Just
wild.
Because he wins the team games.
Because realistically, if a guy like Aaron Donald never won it in this day and age, no defensive player's winning it.
You know what
'Cause
else?
No receivers.
He
don't
got
win
triple
either.
teamed like half the games every year, and he still was getting like
My
19
God,
sacks.
Jackson, come get it.
Jettas is never winning a ring.
Obviously,
He doesn't have to win a ring. I'm talking about MVP, but he ain't gonna win MVP.
He ain't winning either.
Is Jettas gonna pass up Jerry Rice?
No.
Most career receiving yards?
no.
As
I don't
soon
know
as
about
He
that,
won't
Bob.
even be close.
Mark my words, this might be a hot take.
He won't be with a good enough QB.
Jettas is somewhat part of Kirk Cousins' system.
What do you mean?
Once Cousins leaves, he's going to fall off a little bit.
No, that's hot.
Oh, he's gonna be back like in a few
Well, it
weeks
depends
now.
who the QB
We'll see.
is.
I don't think he can maintain, kind of like
No,
Stafford with
he's
Cup.
gonna be back
Cup
this
was
week.
not that good before a guy threw it to him 20 times a game. I think it's kind of the same
Dude,
shit.
that court is sick.
Even with Tyreek. Tyreek was great with Mahomes, but Tyreek gets
Oh,
the
we
ball
got
from
Julio.
Tua way more than
He's an
Mahomes.
astronaut.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Your amount of
That's
targets
badass.
definitely matters. I think Jettas is going to not fall off a cliff,
Yeah, buddy.
but he's not going to keep
Farty?
up these stats for 10, 12 more years.
I
There's
don't
no
know.
way.
Here's
I wish he would.
a conversation for you. Obviously, kicking, field goals, extra points has been in the NFL for as long as
Oh, boy.
anyone can remember.
Oh, I know what you're getting at.
Oh,
Does it really make sense that we play this hard, tough football game where these big 340-pound guys are blocking each other?
Oh boy.
These super athletic wide receivers and corners are making these crazy plays, these crazy cuts. And these games come down to this 180-pound guy that knows how to kick a football. Does that make any sense?
It doesn't make sense.
It comes down to this one guy who didn't matter for the rest of the game, but he comes down. The only time he matters is for the game-winning
And sometimes
kick.
they come off the streets like the
Yeah,
week before.
the dude on the Cowboys.
Yeah.
He was a soccer player, and he was like, "Oh, I think I can kick a football." Obviously, it's not
Backup
gonna
running
change.
Boom,
backs
decided
can
Super
kick it.
Bowl.
Yeah, obviously, it's not going to change,
No.
and it shouldn't
Yeah,
because
like-
it makes sense that you have an option to kick it rather than going for it on 4th down and
I
stuff.
got a story to add.
It's just wild that this
Yeah.
180-pound guy who's not really an athlete, but knows how to kick a football.
Not an athlete's a crazy take.
Okay, he's an athlete, but he's not.
Not a
he's not the
physical-
same
yeah.
level of physical specimen as everybody else on the team.
True.
It's gotta be racist.
What about the punter?
No, it's not.
I'm just kidding. Dude, okay, I gotta say that Clemson.
I'm not saying it
That
should change.
Clemson-
I just
okay.
think it's crazy.
Earlier in the year, do you remember when Clemson almost beat Florida State and the guy missed the field goal?
Yeah.
Well, I heard a story about that dude. That guy was literally working in 9 to 5
Yeah, he was.
in New York the week prior. And Dabo was the kicker, I heard. And Dabo was like, fuck, we need a kicker. And Dabo's son was like, how about we call up the old manager because he's still technically enrolled at the school. And they just called him up. And
Are
then
you
he's like,
serious?
yeah,
That's
sure, I
awesome.
can kick, yeah.
Yeah, you were laughing at her when he missed a kick.
I was
That
laughing because
that
I
shows
was
Fuck
fucking
story
parents.
of the season if you would have made it.
'Cause
I
I-
fucking missed it.
Yeah, it's okay.
Because he had made a couple field goals earlier in the game. And I also
Oh,
hate
fuck,
Clemson.
buddy.
Cam Thomas. Oh,
Oh no.
MVP
Should have
season.
passed earlier.
MVP season.
We know that's never gonna
shambles.
happen.
That's
Balls.
that's just like the Aubrey guy on the Cowboys.
That's what I was just saying. Yeah, the
Oh, were you? I didn't hear that.
Dare
he was a
Gumale.
soccer player.
Yeah.
Their fucking hands, dude.
Should,
Um,
okay. Should you no kicker roster spots? You have to be
Dennis
on
Smith.
other positions, so it has to be all Dare Gumale.
Yeah. Sorry, Gumale.
I'm not saying it necessarily should change or it will, but I just think it's crazy that
I've never
It's
heard
funny to
anyone
think
say
about.
that before. Did you come up with that, or you see it somewhere?
No, I came up with that.
I
Like,
like that.
you look at like the Packers' all-time leading scorer. I'm pretty sure is Mason Crosby,
Yeah, it is.
and it's like the leading scorer this year in the NFL will probably be like Justin Tucker or like some random ass kicker. And I don't think it should change because it makes sense that you have this option to settle for 3 instead of going for the 6-point touchdown. But it's just kind of funny that this guy that doesn't matter for 90% of the plays can sometimes come down to the game-winning play. That's the beauty of sports, I guess.
Yeah.
Like the beauty of sports is a good way to end it.
Oh, I do have one more take.
Okay.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
Okay. Keep it going. Longest
Fuck
pod
it.
in the history of
Fuck it,
Sinister 7.
24-hour pod.
Let's do it.
Okay, this one is really just random. So this is my prediction. The next 5 years, the NBA expands to Seattle and Vegas. LeBron James is a part owner of the Vegas team.
Ooh.
LeBron finishes his career as a player/owner for 1 year, teams up with both his sons, and has a farewell season with Vegas with his sons
Ooh.
and
With the team that he owns.
with a team that he's a part owner of.
Rip
Apologies
to
for the fire alarm.
the audio.
That's a good take.
I definitely agree that he's going to do some huge farewell season because he likes the attention with both of his kids. Where, like, all that matters, he's just going to, the whole season, I just want to play with my boys and get, like, introduce them to the league, like, all that stuff.
Is he gonna get like a narrative like 41-year-old MVP?
No way.
No, he's not going to play that much, but
He might even turn into one of those guys that comes off the bench.
He's gonna do like
Or maybe not comes off the
He's
bench.
gonna do like a Lee All-Star game.
Yeah.
Where he's playing
Like-
like 15 minutes a game, but they're like a great 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know. He might.
And he ramps it up
No,
in the
he can't.
playoffs.
I'm going to be sad, man.
He can't.
My
surpass
GOAT's
him.
going to be retired soon.
Yeah, man. None of us have known an NBA without LeBron,
Yeah.
I know.
and it's
Well,
coming.
technically,
Good riddance.
for a year.
No, that's what I just said. I just said his kids are going to be playing.
Yeah.
So, I think both of his kids are going to be solid NBA players. Also,
Yeah, I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but
That's
I think Bronny will be pretty good.
yeah.
It seems like Bryce is going to be better.
Bryce is fucking huge too. Now,
Bryce
so.
might be a better. I think
Or paint.
He's like LeBron's size. I don't know if you guys have seen pictures of him, but like
He's
like
taller than Bronny,
6'8"
yeah.
and like built.
Yeah.
So
I
watch
don't
out.
think Bronny will ever be like your franchise guy, but I think he's gonna be like one of those guys that like is a huge part to a championship team.
He reminds me of, like, I don't know why, but for some reason there's the way he, like, plays. Kind of reminds me of, like, Buddy Hield almost. He just,
He's
like,
a good
reminds me of, like,
shooter.
a
Yeah.
shooter that can, like, also sometimes drive, but, like, he's a little more physical than Buddy
I
Hield.
think he's more of a facilitator than that.
I think,
yeah.
yeah.
I think I like a Lonzo comparison. Like I think he like I don't know, he's never gonna be your primary scorer, but you like the ball in his hands, he finds the open man, he makes like the right play. There might be a better comparison than that, but
I think he's more of a scorer.
yeah,
Maybe he isn't more of a shooter.
I think everyone hates on him because he's not like the scorer that you expect out of like a top 10, top 5 draft pick. But I
Yeah.
think his basketball IQ is like top of the charts.
All right,
W.
Good podcast.
that's gonna wrap it up.
This will age great.
Longest
My
one.
last,
Sports are beautiful.
my last
I
hot
have to
take
break this into a few parts.
is that Jordan Love will be the 3rd best Packers quarterback of all time. When it's
That's
all said and done.
Oh
super
my
high,
God.
by the way. That's crazy.
Quick, throw in a random.
Bart Starr, Aaron Rodgers, Bart Starr, and Love.
Packers will
I'm
be
counting that
drafting
Love will be
quarterback.
out of the league in 5 years.
Out of the league.
Yeah.
Not the Packers starter.
I agree with that.
Not out of the league. Not out of
Do
the
the
league.
Packers
That's too
draft a
far.
quarterback this year?
I don't think they should.
What if they get the number 1 pick?
Well,
I think
that's
there
not-
are
Can you
way
trade it?
I think
there
we
are
should draft
way
first.
more
I think I would
places.
draft Caleb Williams if we got the number 1 pick.
Oh yeah.
As much as I hate him.
Would you?
Yeah, I would.
Or would you trade down to 2, get extra draft capital, and take
Get
Marvin
Drake.
Harrison?
Take Drake May. He's gonna have a better career than.
How would
Yeah,
you get Shador?
I did say that. Yeah.
Oh my
You
goodness.
could trade down.
If
You could.
if hey
Shador and Marvin Harrison.
Shador
Oh my
becomes a
God.
QB,
Shador.
what Dion coaching the Packers, life is good.
Bullshit.
We're ending on that.